feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement.
Whoop whoop! Happy Thursday, everybody. My name is Mark. I am a content creator on YouTube, also a day trader as well as an investor. You can find me on Half Breed Observer on YouTube as well as on Culture Currency. That's my finance channel. To my right is my co-host.
Hey guys, this is Mo from OTB Clubhouse, also a full-time day trader and a real estate investor.
Yeah, there we go. Y'all, this is the Marc and Moh Show. We got some stuff and some critical announcements here at the end I think you want to stay for because it is a huge announcement, so please stay till the end. Meanwhile, Mo, how have you been doing, bro? It's been a pretty busy week or so. How you been?
Yeah, like market aside, I feel like there's a flu going around. Every person I talk to, it's either they're sick or their kids are sick. And honestly, ever since having kids, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but daycare and schools are where all the germs and flus come from to my house. It's every season.
Yeah,
if you want to know there's a flu out there, I could tell you because I have it.
You do get sick. Since I've known you, I think every single year around this time you get sick, dude. Build up your immune system, bro. No, but I agree. It happens every single time around this time. A guy at my job is sick. My kid
Can I
is
say
getting
something
sick.
controversial?
Sure,
Ever
go ahead.
since I had this shot, I'm not going to say it, my immunity went down. I used to get sick maybe once every 2-3 years. And then after that certain shot, I get sick every 3 to 4 months. It's crazy.
I know, because you know as well as I do, I've been getting sick quite a bit after I got the first shot. I only got the first shot, never followed up with a second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth shot. I just took the first one, but I had already caught the virus the first time. Symptoms were similar to like a flu, and then I got my vaccine, and then I consistently started getting sick for quite some time until February, I think, Mo, is when I started feeling better. I changed my entire lifestyle. I changed my diet. I cleansed for 3 days, watched what I was taking in, and just been real conscious of what I'm putting in my body and treat my body a little bit better than before. And I've been feeling great for the most part. I've only been sick once this year, and it was kind of like more like a cough, sniffles for a couple of days. But other than that, man, just my usual back issues. So
Yeah. Well, you told me to stop sending you gin.
I did. I don't drink anymore. So I know you're like, what do you drink, bro? I was like, I don't really drink like that, man. You wouldn't think that though if you walk in my house, as much alcohol as we have there in our pantry area. A lot of alcohol, the pandemic alcohol. All right, y'all, let's get this show started. Like I said, we have some major announcements here at the end, so please stay tuned. Let's just quickly get into my section.
Trigger warning. The following content may contain opinions, thoughts, and subject matter that could be sensitive or triggering for some individuals. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, for the past couple of shows, I've been covering the war and politics and etc. I've been slowly trying to integrate this into this show. So let's give you a quick update on Israel versus Hamas. All right, things are still continuing to escalate. Last time we spoke, I think I talked about the fact that they were going to start going in there and clearing out Gaza. That has been occurring. A lot of mixed information coming in, depending on what side you like to lean towards. This is the problem. I would say this is one of the few wars that I've experienced where it's more propaganda than I've ever seen before. On both sides, by the way, is the IDF as well as Hamas and Palestine as well as America. There's a lot of information going back and forth. It's really hard to verify what's real, what's not. Recently, the IDF reports consistently on the horrors that Hamas is committing towards Israelis. And then, of course, Hamas is constantly reporting the horrors that the IDF is doing towards the Palestinian civilians. So it's pretty ugly. There's a lot of stuff that's been revealed. For example, Guantanamo Bay. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Mo, back in over a decade ago. It was a pretty bad look for the military how we were treating prisoners over there that we have captured. Some stuff similar was leaked recently that the IDF has been doing to the Palestinians. They apologized for it and looking into it. But there's a lot of misinformation. IDF has taken a lot of hits as well. There's been some lot of death tolls here that have been underreported by the IDF. So moving forward, this is what I recommend anyone do. Get as much information as you can from both sides. Look at the Palestinian side of things as well as the Israeli side. Somewhere in there, there's a truth. I'm telling you this from my own experience. There's a lot of propaganda online is crazy. There's conspiracy theories left and right. There's videos being shared that's not always accurate. That's sometimes from other wars like the Iraq war, Afghan war. So it's really hard to try to get the truth when it comes to this. But there is something that's going to be airing, I think it's tonight or tomorrow on CNN. This is the first report of an undercover reporter who was able to get an inside look inside of Gaza. So they snuck cameras in there to see exactly what's happening because we're not really getting real reports about what's happening in Gaza. So this is supposed to air by CNN, surprisingly, sometime, I think tonight or tomorrow. So I'm really excited to see that. Yep. And then as for that, let's move on to the next topic. This has to do with money. Defense budget. Where's all your money going? So the defense budget has been agreed upon. Let's just say that Congress and the Republicans House also compromised on the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2024. So it's currently sitting on Biden's desk. This is where your tax dollars are going. All right, let's go. I got some highlights here for you. First and foremost, Congress today passed $874.2 billion in defense policy bill for next year. Do you think that's a lot, Mo?
Yeah, it is. It's all honestly, in terms of context, I don't know if it's a lot compared to how much they've given to Ukraine and sent to other countries. So
it is. That is the biggest budget passed ever in history, by the way. Last year was the biggest budget passed in history. It was $857 billion. This year, $874 billion. So this is where your money is going to. These are some key points that I highlighted here. It expands the list of munitions eligible for emergency and multi-year procurement authority. It also adds Israel as well as Taiwan on that. So what does that mean? It means we get to sell more weapons to various different countries, including Israel and Taiwan now, that can fall under emergency and multi-year procurement. With that being said, that means that we get to make more money off of these missiles, such as the Tomahawk cruise missiles, precision strike missiles, Mark 48 torpedoes, and the list goes on. So if you're interested in the military industrial complex, start going looking at those defense stocks out there, the Boeing, the Lockheed Martin, the Raytheon. Start looking at them because there are so many people who build these missiles that is in this bill. Additionally, they're trying to institutionalize the Sea-Launched Nuclear Cruise Missile Program. They allocated about $196 million for the Pentagon to work toward that. That's really not that much, including $70 million for the National Nuclear Security Administration to modernize its warhead stockpile. So the stockpile that we have, we need to get it upgraded. So that's $70 million on top of the $196 million. That's actually not that bad compared to the rest of the money that's being allocated. Let's talk about Europe. We got Pacific Europe and Space Command. So it looks like we're going to start helping Taiwan quite a bit, especially enhancing their cybersecurity. So a lot of your money is going to start going there. Provisions that will require the Senate to agree to never basically withdraw from NATO. If you ever follow politics, especially during the Trump era, Trump was huge on trying to withdraw from the transatlantic alliance. He threatened them quite a bit, never officially actually did it. Also, it authorizes $300 million for Ukraine security assistance initiatives for both FY24 and 25, but that's just a small fraction of the aid that Biden administration wants to put forward. There's also $61 billion in Ukraine assistance requests that's currently stalled by the Republicans because they want to have money or some sort of agreement, some sort of supplemental spending to work on the immigration policy changes because we do have an immigration problem here. And if you've noticed recently, remember during the Biden administration, when he first came in, he was saying, we're not going to work on the borders. Illegal immigrants should be able to come in, blah, 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 the usual thing, where it's evil what Trump was doing. We're trying to, ban people from crossing the border and et cetera, and building the wall, that whole thing. Biden is now on board to invest more money into building the wall, by the way. It's just so you know why, because they found out that there's a lot of terrorists coming into this country from, you guessed it, Hamas. All right, let's go over what else do we have here. We talked about the cybersecurity for Taiwan. We talked about that as well. Like I said, it looks like we're going to be investing a lot of money into helping Taiwan. Also, it looks like they are delaying construction for Space Command. Space Command was an additional branch that Donald Trump put into place during his reign as president. I always thought the Space Force was stupid. It was basically the Air Force split up. It looks like they're kind of halting on building their headquarters in Colorado. Honestly, I thought that was already done, but I guess not. Also, some things that did not get passed, which just shows you sometimes where our politics and our politicians are, where their heads are at. So this is from Barron's. So Republicans try to put some sort of bills and regulations in there for abortions for military members in the bill. And then they also want to make sure that there will never be the LGBTQ pride flag being flown on base. This is stuff that really has nothing to do with the defense spending budget, but you see, this is what they do in every single one of these bills, y'all. They try to sneak little things in there, hoping to get passed that they can't otherwise get passed. Personally, why is this so important? It's stupid. It's just virtual signaling. Personally, yes, I don't think the LGBT flag should be flown by aircrafts in the military or hung up on military bases. This is military. This isn't some social project. This isn't, you don't really have an identity in the military unless the military issues you an identity. So just understand how the military works. This is ridiculous. Military was never really supposed to be like inclusive like that. There's a lot of stuff that would disqualify you from joining the military, and rightfully so. We have 70% of the people in the military right now overweight. That is embarrassing and sad, especially since we're about to go to a bunch of different wars that can possibly lead out to wars. But there's some good news as well. The military got a bonus for all the active duty militaries out there, 5.2% increase in your base pay. That's awesome. And for all veterans out there, disabled veterans, you're getting a 3.2% increase in your pay. And that's all I got, Mo. Anything you'd like to add?
What are your thoughts on like what's the media campaign around? Like, do you think it's being done to create more knowledge or exposure on what's happening in the world, or do you think, and this might sound heartless, it's doing to just con people out of money?
Well, con people out of my household, like just being okay with them
No, donate,
investing all this money. Oh,
donate
donation.
to this cause, donate, because I feel like fear, religion, politics is those are three areas where people, if they believe in the cause, the objectivity goes away and you
Mhm.
just want to kind of help. And I'm not saying that's what it is. I just want to put that question out there and get like a professional opinion. What do you think?
I get what you're saying. I don't think it's a con in the sense of trying to extract money from regular citizens like me and you. I do think that some of the donations that are being donated towards the Palestinians is actually ending up in Hamas's hands to continue further the war. But I think, if anything, if the currency of this situation are people, their minds and their hearts. I think that's what the media is doing, is really creating a narrative to get people emotionally involved. And once again, it's a divisive topic. If you look on, just in general, if you look online, depending on what side you believe, I mean, everyone's upset. They're calling death to each other. Israel is calling death to Palestine. Palestine is calling death to Israelis. And it's all being perpetrated by the media. I think there is no fair coverage of everything that's going on. It's really hard to find unbiased news reporting. That's why my sources are like ground news as well as like breaking points. I like breaking points. They are very they're very center leaning on most topics, although there's a Republican and there's a Democrat there, and then they give their opinions, but you know when they're giving their opinions. In the end of the day, money is going to be made by the military industrial complex. There will be a lot of money made for the government here in the United States, in Israel, for Iran. There's a lot of money to be made by being in these types of conflicts, and it's not necessarily through donations. I think it's through tax dollars, it's through aid, it's through selling weapons, because again, remember, we're the number one weapons manufacturer and deliver, or we're not, I wouldn't say manufacturer, but we're definitely the number one, I guess, salesperson in the world when it comes to weapons. So we have to kind of look at the broader picture of what's really going on. Do I think in the end of the day, this is about money? Absolutely. I don't think it has much to do with the actual reason why these folks are fighting amongst each other from land and religion and terrorist attack whatsoever. But I will say this: what I did find is that the narrative on a mainstream media a lot of times is that Palestinians, if you're Palestinians, you are a Hamas supporter. And they'll show on television Palestinians who are screaming death to Israelis. A lot of times what the narrative, like I said, is that if you're Palestine, you're automatically Hamas, and therefore if you live in Gaza, you voted these people in, which is true, and that you 100% support Hamas. I don't know if I could share this. Let me see if I can pull it up here so I could share it. What you see here is how much this was pulled the day after the attack by Hamas, because this was done before. So this is Foreign Affairs. This is what do they call it? Arab Barometer. So these people go in and do polls, and they physically go into these cities and they do polls with the actual citizens, and they ask this question: how much trust do you have in Hamas-led government? Okay. And if you look at the chart, majority overwhelmingly say not at all. So the Palestinians did not support, Palestinians in Gaza, for the most part, did not support the Hamas-led government, right? This chart was pulled down immediately after October 7th. And now the narrative is that all Palestinians support Hamas. But what do you expect now if you, as an individual, you're a father yourself, let's say you lived in Gaza, you're Palestinian, and rockets are coming down from Israel and they kill you and your family. You have nothing to do with Hamas, but unfortunately you're part of the collateral damage when it comes to war, because that is war.
Yeah.
So now your building is destroyed, your wife is killed, your 2 children are killed, and you're alive. You're sitting here, you're holding your baby in your hand, running to the hospital. That's also destroyed. What do you think you're going to end up doing? I mean, what do people initially think? Are you going to support Israel? No, you're going to support Hamas, dude. You're going to be like, where can I sign up to help and kill some Israelis? So what we're seeing more and more now, according to the polls after October 7th, I think everyone supported Israel at the beginning of the attacks. When October 7th happened, I think everyone was pretty much on board. Hamas is this evil terrorist group. Can't believe this happened to them. We support you, Israel. But as the way they are conducting themselves throughout this war, I feel like they're losing the support from the population, the people, the eyes of people. And more people are starting to support Hamas and Palestine. You're starting to see it in the polls. It's slowly shifting where Israeli and IDF specifically are starting to lose support. So there you go. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, man, it did. It's sad it's happening. I feel like it's just a game for the rich people. And that's all it is. You make money, you get the entertainment media gets their TRP coverage, so people go watch this stuff and they stay relevant. But actual people are dying, and this is the first time I've seen people so involved in a war where because there's kids involved, there's innocent people involved. It's good to see that you're posting facts over subjectivity, and you have been. Remember a month and a half ago when we started talking about, you were probably the 1% that was talking about like just looking at it objectively. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the fact that you have a military background doesn't actually help you, because I feel like if you really talk to someone who's from the military, they have a very one side. I'm not talking about all of them, but I feel like people that come on the shows and on the media side, they have a very one-way approach. They're very closed-minded. They have a fixed mindset, or they've been given a script.
Yeah, I mean, and plus all those guys you usually see on television are, the military experts and analysts, but those are usually former military members who now work for these government contract companies. Don't get me wrong, like I'm 100% military, and I speak with other military people. We all have our opinions as well, but ultimately, if you're in the military and you work for the government, your job is to do what the commander-in-chief says. So if Biden says we're going to go invade Israel, you can, I guess, technically not supposed to give your opinion, but you can say, I don't like it, but you're going to do your job. I mean, they're giving you a raise at 5.2%, which is an amazing raise, by the way, for the military. It's the biggest raise in 40 years. So Biden's definitely trying to buy the military votes here. It's 5.2%. That's huge. I wish I had gotten that when I was still in. But, we have less and less people signing up for the military. And the pension that we were all getting is no longer. It's like a 401k program. And I think you have to have some sort of incentive. If you're going to join the military, you are expected to go to war and you're expected to die for this country. So if you join, during this time, and you're shocked that you may end up in Gaza fighting against Hamas, I mean, you sign up for it, and these decision makers, a lot of these decision makers, they're not on the ground when all this stuff is happening. We are the people that get sent to do this stuff are on the ground. And I wish that these decision makers, if they make these decisions to go on the ground and fight a war, I think every single one of them should have their children also serving the military and have them be in the front lines as well. And I guarantee you, if that would happen, the way they make these laws and these decisions, they would be a little bit more cautious on what they decide, because we're just expendable. In the end of the day, military people are expendable. Let's go to you. You ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Over to you, Mo. You got the
All
cards
right.
up.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. So if you guys have been listening to us for the last, I'd say, month and a half, you guys should have made a whole bunch of money. Okay. 2 weeks ago, I came in and I told you that my two core plays are small caps and gold. And I've been even messaging my friends. Like, I posted a message screenshot today that I sent to Mark Monroe, the other one, and I was like, you should look at beta stocks, because I know Mark talks about tech a lot, but he's already looking at it, because interest rate goes down. That means these stocks, they're called beta stocks, but they're gonna go up, which is small mid cap. And Rocket is up like about 50%. Beyond is up 50%. The trade that I want to talk about is IWM. We called it out when it was 176. Today it's at 197. That's a 20-point move in 2 weeks. The Jan position is up close to 800%. Gold wasn't up until today. My gold Eagle position is up. That's the play I called out. I think it's up 10%. I'm adding more. So first look at IWM here. Let me just pull the daily chart. This is the same thing I was showing you. Like, look at the consolidation. This is where the breakout's happening. They added 220 calls for Jan 26 today. God forbid if that happens, market's going to go there. Everyone is going euphoric. What you have to think about it, funds that were sitting on the sidelines now have to chase. So they have to deploy capital, because they have to match or meet expectations for the index, which is going to be hard, because the year is ending in 16 days and they need to match it. So they're going to be buying with both hands. And you're at a very off place here, because I see a lot of people saying they don't want to chase, and they were saying they don't want to chase a month ago. And now it's going. I think there's a bull market happening everywhere. There's a bear market happening everywhere. I told you guys they will sell tech and buy small caps. You should see that now. I'll give you an example. This is IWM. Let me show you how Microsoft is doing today. Microsoft is down from 376 to 365. Why makes no logic. As an investor, this shouldn't make sense to anyone. But let me tell you why it does make sense, okay? It does make sense because they're selling these because they, in their opinion, not mine, are overbought, and they want to deploy some of the capital and buy these shitcodes, these garbage stocks that are up 50 to 100%, but they're just getting started. Like, do you guys remember how many times I've yelled out Beyond? You might think I'm crazy. Beyond is up 50%. It's shorted at 45%. The borrow rate on these short stock is at 120%, meaning the cost of borrowing to short a Beyond stock has gone up double while the stock is ripping up. So you're losing from both ends. So now you have to cover. So what happens when you're covering? The stock goes parabolic. So let's look at what Beyond has done. It went all the way to 960. This is from yesterday, and it went from 960 to 11. But let's go a week prior when we started talking about it. It went from 886 to almost 11. Like, easy money in my opinion. Now let me look at gold, because here's one thing I don't like talking about what has happened in the past and do a dance, because it does two things. One, it shows that we are obnoxiously cocky. Second, it causes this euphoric thing where people feel like they need to FOMO, and I don't want you to do either, because there's more opportunity. So moving on, here's where I think the next opportunity comes. gold, commodities, silver, whatever, right? So here's what Ego's doing. It's down right now. I was up, I think 10%. I'm probably down 10 right now. I have the April 15 calls, and I'm most likely going to add more. This is what the daily chart looks like. I've showed it to you guys like a couple of times. Here, let me just fix it. So I guess you could call this a weird cup and handle. It not the perfect one that we've seen. So cup handle breakout. We should see 1443 on this. Um, a lot of very smart folks disagree with me on this. Okay. They don't think gold's going to break out. I think gold will break out. I think it's at 2040 today. I think we get to 3,000 on gold, which what I'm talking about is a historical move that's never happened. The chances of that happening are very small. Remember, market doesn't do the anomalies. It does anomaly once in a while, like what happened with COVID. Usually market trends up or ranges. I'm talking up commodity doing stuff that it's never done. So that's Ego is a gold mine. You can pick another. So the one that other trade that I'm in, not telling people to get in because we're already in the money in this trade today. It's already up. Like our calls are going to be in the money soon. Anything that's related to commodity, I think should go next up. Small cap should go up. Like the other trade we talked about is Rocket. I think this is heading to 15. Like this was a bull flag. I think we did Insta lives. Like there's an Insta live that I did 3 days ago, Mark, and I talked about UPSD, Carvana, and beyond. So it's all the receipts are there. Let me show you. This is what Rocket is doing. It's at so it's up about my March position is should be up about 300%. Let me show you UPSD. The bull flag broke here. It's heading to 50. Let me show you Carvana today. This one bull flag also broke. It's heading to 57. Wow, what's going on? Why are they going up? Cost of borrowing goes down. People selling big tech, moving the big money. Let me put it this way. It's like someone lives in New York, sells their apartment, buys a mansion in Texas. That's what this looks like. Someone sells their expensive $300 Microsoft stock and then buys 5 or 6 Carvana because they know what's to come, and it has a 45% short interest. So the guy shorting this right now is freaking out and sweating and most likely waiting to get margin called because that's what's going to happen. And this thing can go. Mark, do you know that Carvana was $5 this year and it's sitting at $51? It's unreal, dude. You're on mute, by the way. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I played Carvana.
I
And
don't,
I
but I'm pissed,
oh
man.
yeah, everyone thought I was like I bought I bought 100 shares because I was doing cover calls on them, and I think I talked about it on the show. I think eventually I let it go at $5, but I bought at like the damn near bottom, like 10 cents from the bottom. I had bought it. I wish I would have just held it. Would have been the best trade I've had all year. I mean, where's it at now again? You said?
Bro, you don't want to check. It's 51.
Okay. Yeah. See. Oh,
That's insane, right? That's crazy. Think what it did for Leaps. Like
Jesus
someone,
Christ, man.
it would be. I think the Leaps would be up at like 10,000%.
Wow. Yeah, man. I bought. Yeah. I wish you hadn't brought that up. Thanks a lot, Mo.
Just so you know, Mark, what happened yesterday with Powell and everything was historical. People are gonna look at it, talk about it. Someone posted a screenshot on Reddit. They made $1.2 million with 20K, and they were in Solder or some, I don't know what ticker it was, but it was a 0 day. 1.2 million.
It's crazy, dude, because like the Carvana, the reason why I even sold off because they were talking about I was going to go bankrupt. It was a complete overreaction because I remember I bought it based off of the fact that I knew it was an overreaction because it had dropped 40% in a day. I don't know if you remember that. When it dropped hard, man. So I was like, I mean, what's a $400 risk? Or I paid less. I think it was $300 is what I paid. It was like 3 something. And man, sometimes you gotta buy and just have this conviction and just keep the shit, especially if you have the money to hold it. There was no reason for me to sell it, to be honest. I could have just held on to it, but who would have thought it would have went to 50? You never know, man. These shit stocks, man, when they run, they run.
See, the thing is, if you want to be responsible, you shouldn't look at this, because you have to have some sort of a gambling behavior, degen behavior, when you're looking at these stocks, because otherwise, and then you need to be very disciplined. This is like for someone who wants to work out, has a clean diet, goes to Mexico all inclusive. This is what this is. There's alcohol on tap, there are dessert, like this is what this is. So I go in with, here's one of my rules: if I'm going to trade this tomorrow on a zero date, I don't think I would go with a stop loss. I would say, let's say I want to do $500 with a 50% stop, that's 250 loss. I'd rather just put 250 on a trade and consider that gone. It sounds stupid, but that's how you trade these, because you don't know. So do you know something crazy? I was in UPST calls, okay? I'm in Beyond calls. Those are up 80-90%. I'm happy about them. But I knew UPST was my number one pick. I did a live on Monday. I got into the trade for $1.30 for 40 calls. This is true story. You guys should hear this. Maybe you'll feel better about your pain. So I get these $40 calls for $1.30 on Friday, and then I do this live on Monday, making an announcement. This is gonna go up, and you guys will see whatever. Like, it's OPEX week. It's gonna happen. It's like me going on a 30-minute rant. I had about 25 people live. I thought it was a shit. But anyway, so Monday comes in, UPST goes down. Okay. And I'm like, cool. Now let's be responsible trader. What do you want your risk management to be? I'm like, okay, you know what? 50%. And what I'm doing here is not smart, because I have a thesis, and the thesis needs to play out. It needs to play out because of FOMC. So I go in, cut it at 55%, cut the trade at like 60 or something. That trade is sitting at about $7 right now. So, and I'm not going to tell you my position size, but let's say if I had 10 contracts, that's about $1,300. That would be worth about 8,000. I think it goes up tomorrow. Those contracts will be worth about 10ish by tomorrow, because I think this move carries on. But I'm telling you right now, I'm unbothered, because I've missed so many moves, and I've caught so many moves, and I know you just have to kind of ride the wave through. You're gonna miss them, catch them. What you can't do is dwell, because when you dwell, you don't catch the next ones then. So I hope this makes you guys feel better, because I just literally gave up on a 10x trade because of my stupid 50% stop. But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I still, Carvana, I'm sorry, I'm shocked. I'm still here. Oh well, it's part of life. All right, man. You want me to bring up the chart again, or was that it? Are you good?
I'm good. I just want people to understand that we are going to see alpha money move into beta. You're going to see Mag 7 move into, it's a cycle. I think the cycle goes till March. The reason why it's better now, because tech is responsible. It's a very big market share, so it moves very slow. Like the move that you saw in Nvidia probably won't happen in the next 50 years, in my opinion. Let's do this. It hasn't happened in the last 50. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, because to move such a big market share, it takes time. But with these shitcoins, if Nvidia can do 100, 200%, these can do 1,000%. What we saw in Carvana, and this move's getting started. I'd watch AI too. That's the other name I'd watch, and show
The
up on my Insta lives. I
ticker
want to get
symbol.
to 100 people. That's
Yeah,
my
you're talking
dream.
about ticker AI.
Yeah,
Man, all those crap stocks are going up. Jesus.
they call
Right.
shit goes respectfully.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Mo, for that. Thanks, Mo. All right, guys. We got some announcements.
This is Channels Television's breaking news.
All right. Let's do it. So this is the Marc and Moh Show. This is our last episode for the year. Moving forward, Mo, would you like to, I guess, deliver the announcement?
Oh man, you're putting it on me.
I was thinking.
But actually, no. You go ahead.
Okay,
You do
guys.
it.
All right. As you guys have probably seen, we've been with the Come Up series for close to a year now. We came here for a year. We wanted to expand our audience, which we did successfully, and we appreciate every single one of you guys. For the past probably 6 months or so, we're trying to switch up our program a little bit and focus on other things besides just the stock market, whether it's politics, the entertainment news, pop culture, stuff like that. It resonated a little bit with some folks that didn't. I am in the process of transitioning out of the financial space, the finance space on YouTube. This space I'm trying to transition out of. As you guys can see, I'm really passionate about politics and pop culture and entertainment. That's the stuff I really enjoy in my free time. And I've spent the better part of 3 years every single day, night and day, studying the market, watching the market, trading, everything. It's been a journey. If you guys been following me on Uncultured Currency, you've seen my journey. I have 2 more videos over there I want to share, where I'm going to be really transparent about everything and kind of wrap it up. But most importantly is I'm have aspirations in other spaces, and I no longer want to always talk about finance. With that being said, I'm going to take a back seat and become a more of a producer and content creator, because that's really what I enjoy. I enjoy content creation. Although I hate editing, I actually enjoy it when the product is done. I just hate the process of doing it because it takes hours, but I love it and I enjoy it. Mo is really, really great at what he does, and I think he would deliver a lot of value, where strictly we're just talking about money, what you guys want, trading, what's happening this week, no noise whatsoever. So we discussed this, and we think the best part is for us to I guess kind of not really end the show, but we're transitioning into something different, which will be a watch list meeting on Sundays, where Mo will go over some stuff that he's looking at for the week. I will be on the back end producing it, and occasionally I will appear as well and chime in if I have anything I believe that can add value or whatnot. Am I missing anything there, Mo?
No. And just to reiterate that Mark's not going. He's going to be on and off in terms of background, and like helping basically make the content more engaging and more beginner friendly for sure. Like Mike said, this is our last episode, and next year we're gonna start. And when I say watch this meeting for the new people, we're gonna be doing weekly prep, because right now what's happening is we come in Thursdays, and sometimes the moves are done because the week's over, and by the time you guys are actually like, let's do something, you have a 4-day gap, and things can change in 4 days. So for those reasons, we're gonna have the weekly prep meeting on Sunday. So you have a whole day to prepare, and then Monday to take action. And the biggest news out of for you guys, that this is a paid thing that I do. Okay. So this is accessible to only paid members, but because we've been part of the Come Up series for so long, we wanted to make this so impactful that we're going to do it for you guys without a paywall. Yeah, it's going to be for free, and it's going to happen on Sundays, and more details will come as we get closer to it. We're going to go over my weekly plan, very specific with levels. Look, I'm a trader, I'm not an analyst. You're going to get the most details, the most steps. I can't hold your hands, I can't push the button, but apart from that, you're going to get everything you need to know about what's going to happen for the week. I put in 8 to 10 hours into this, so you're going to get that for free, and you're going to get that on Come Up series.
Yeah, and this to before any rumors start, anything like this. No, I'm not fired. We're not getting fired. Nothing. This wasn't something that where Mark Monroe was like, you guys aren't delivering. It wasn't one of those. It was honestly a decision between me and Mo. And also, like, I did not burn my account or lost a bunch of money trading or had a bad trade. That didn't happen as well. I'm actually profitable this year. My investment accounts are freaking sick. I'm really happy with my investments. The trading, I am up for the year. Not as much as I would like to be, because I did have a rough month this month. But overall, like, this has nothing to do with like I have bad trades or I'm not mentally there anymore. I'm really interested in a lot more stuff, and I do need a break from this space, because I do have a lot more stuff I want to share, and I will be here for that. As for our journey here, man, it's been great. Thank you guys so much to come up. Every single one of your cousins were awesome. We've had a lot of good calls. We had some bad calls, but for the most part, Mo, right? Our calls when you were doing the calls and stuff, they were mostly bangers. I know one of mine, the AMC one, was a flop that I did, and I lost money on that one too, a small. That was hard for me to face you guys afterwards. It sucks. I don't know how a lot of people do it. I know a lot of people just ignore their bad calls. They just ignore it and just work on focus on the good calls. But that one really hit me. That was one bad call for mine. But the rest of the calls that I made, which were only like a couple, they were pretty good. You, Mo, I think you said what you were about 85% successful on all the calls you
So
did.
I
here on
don't
the show,
remember
right?
my good calls, but if anything fails, I always remember it because
Mhm.
that's how I like. That's what I work on. So out of all the trades that I've called out, there's only one that didn't work out. That was AR, and
Mm.
I got stopped out. And then the trade ended up working, but for me in my books, it didn't work because I got stopped out. Like after that, doesn't matter. So that was the only trade that did not work out that I specifically gave out.
Yeah. And then it's also like I think initially in the beginning of the year we predicted that the market would go down. It did, and then it went back up. And then in October we were saying we were thinking it was going to end up selling off again, correct? And we were incorrect about that one.
Yeah, so my thought process is just take Tesla and market. I thought after one, I think Tesla came all the way close to 100 bounce. My thing was it'll bounce and then drop, and that's not what happened. And that's why bears don't have a high chance of winning ever in this game. It's a number game. I don't think we're out yet, but I'm not buying 3,000 puts on SPX either. So one thing through come up I've learned is if you are a trader, macro conversations shouldn't be talked about because I personally am not going to have any use for it. I could talk about it like we're having a drink. It's not going to make me any money. It's not going to make you any money. So I think 4 months in, I switched inside. I wouldn't talk about macro again. I'm just talk about specific trades because that's what's going to happen. But to put it plainly, I was wrong for me to say the market will go down after it ripped. Like even if the market rips 100 and then it goes down 200, it doesn't matter. I was wrong because that 100 would blow me up. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I can't sustain 100-point move up because I don't play a 1 year out. I'm playing a week, 2 weeks out. Even 50 would take me out.
Yeah. Okay. So very transparent here. So moving forward, that's what you guys will expect. So moving forward, come Sundays, look out for it. There will be a thumbnail that will pop up, and it will be a watch list with Mo. And occasionally I will appear, and maybe sometimes I might drop some other stuff here and there on the come up series. But there's a lot of changes that's going to be happening, from my understanding, moving forward next year. It's going to the come up series is going to be shifting quite a bit, so I look forward to that as well. Like I said, if you guys want to reach me, you guys can always find me if you really want to reach me on my YouTube channel, Half Breed Observer. You won't find me on Twitter, you won't find me on Facebook, you won't find me on Instagram, and you won't find me on TikTok. So you can reach me that way if you guys are ever interested. So thank you guys so much, and I will still be there just in the background. Mo, got anything else?
Well, enjoy the year. We'll see you guys next year.
Yes, next year. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. Overall, happy holidays. See you guys next time. Peace out.